Okay, guys, I'm finally recovering from the ick that I have felt deep in my soul after watching last night's back-to-back episodes. Really, that second episode, I kind of was surprised that there was no warning about, trigger warnings or anything like that for people who have experienced SA, because I just felt that this episode was heavy. I've never seen something like this. I think the MVPs of the episode were first and foremost the producers. And I'll tell you why. In most situations in reality TV, the people who are filming on that crew as well as producers are sitting there with the direct instructions to not intervene, to not force things to happen. They are there as the passive observer, and they are there to just observe what's going on and capture it and sit back and stay out of the way. And in this scenario, there were multiple times where the producers really came in and said, hey, too far, we've gone too far, you got to get out. And I am so glad that Luke and Laura are gone. I knew it was awful because in these trailers, you never get to see what actually happened. It just always teased that he was closing the door on them. And you knew that something was off. He's got that wolf-like eye for Margot and Laura. Let's start with Luke first. Totally inappropriate. Doesn't matter if he would have or would not have done anything in that scenario. It's weird to get into someone's bed when they're passed out and you're naked. Period. That is SA, period. If you need some explanation on that, I don't know, consult a guidance counselor or something like that, someone who gets paid to dive in on that. But you've passed a boundary. The no's were said on all fronts, and they were ignored. Luke was out of hand from the beginning. I think everyone was already really turned off by him throughout this night because he was, stealing a plant. I think Adam nailed it when he said it was like junior high kind of stuff. And Aesha's gut instinct, the most important thing that I've seen is that so many girls may see a situation going down like this. They don't want to rock the boat, so to say. They want everyone just to be happy and cool and chill. And there was every reason for Aesha just to be like, I'll just make sure the door's closed and I won't say anything. Aesha risked her own reputation by going up and following her gut to wake up the captain, explain to him. He did the right thing by saying, okay, first things first, I've got to get Luke off the boat for tonight. Let's remove the threat or potential threat. We'll assess it in the morning and we'll make the call. So I think what Jason did was very mature. He had little information, but he knew the right thing to do when he was woken up in the middle of the night. And so I think I continue to stand by my opinion that Aesha and Jason are the new dynamic duo in the Below Deck universe. This just nails that in. That was absolutely great leadership on both of their parts. I also thought that, the opinions, the way Harry responded to it very kindly and sweetly, the way Culver responded to it saying, hey, I have a little sister, this is scum, Adam, Culver, Harry, all of them said, that's the line. Everyone was clear on it. I think Chef Serena came in with great wisdom there, which is that a woman has the right to go out and get drunk. She has the right to go to sleep and not worry about a naked man jumping in her bed. And yeah, I continue to stand. I know that they've hinted towards Margot having a few issues later in the season. I'll be interested to see how that plays out. Honestly, just because nothing physical happened in that scenario between Margot and Luke doesn't mean that she won't continue to feel some of that heaviness. I think it was great to get Laura out of there. Laura was toxic from start to finish. And honestly, if it wasn't going to be her getting fired for this, she would have gotten fired for the way she spoke to Aesha and Jason. So it was imminent for her. I think Aesha is a wise observer. I think it takes someone who has experienced that kind of thing, unfortunately, to be able to see that potential situation happening for others. And it's a real women supporting women situation when Aesha stepped in and stuck her neck out and said, this isn't right for you, Margot. It's not right for Adam. Adam is in a tough situation too. I mean, he's your New Yorker tough guy. And I hope you like that accent. And, you know, it's not easy in that situation where he's just trying to be polite and fun and keep the energy up and not hurt her feelings, embarrass her. And yeah, Laura was all over him. And I'm telling you what, coming off of the heels of what Luke had just done, watching her desperately throw herself at him and then jump on his bed trying to give him a massage when he just wanted to sleep. He was trying to be so polite, and it's so unfortunate, and thank God the producers were there and ready to jump in as well, because in those scenarios, you had multiple sources looking at each other to say, hey, this isn't right. And in normal day-to-day life, not on reality TV, something may happen and no one's around to see what happened. And so thanks to having cameras around, you know, you didn't even have to just trust Aesha's word or Captain Jason's word or Luke's word or Laura's word. You didn't have to know context or perspective. One of the most disappointing things out of this would be I can't even call them apologies, really. I think Laura kind of apologized to Adam, and it came a little later than it probably should have last night, and she basically just chalked it up. You can see it right here. She chalked it up to her being 29, and she's 31 now. And, you know, don't give excuses. Just apologize. Just say you did something wrong. It doesn't have to be this long drawn out thing. Just say, I was stupid. Watching back, I have learned from my actions and that they have consequences and I feel awful. That's it. Free publicist right here. When you don't have someone who's managing your PR or publicity, you are not going to win in the court of public opinion on this. And Luke's over here with no apology, no surprise. I think he was embarrassed and apologetic when he didn't really know what went on, you know, and he got fired the next morning. But I also think he didn't deserve a second chance or whatever that Laura was hacking up about. But Luke honestly posted something cryptic about, you know, it's all perception, it's not real. But let me tell you something, and I said the same thing when talking about Chef Ryan. There are things that reality TV will definitely morph into a storyline, right? You see how forced everything was with Culver, where they obviously were already planning on bringing in Joelle. And that was something that was a quick turnaround. They suddenly had this great Below Deck alum who also has a turbulent history with Aesha. It'd be a great storyline. They were ready to bring in Joelle. Culver never stood a chance at becoming bosun because they already had Joelle sitting back in the wings ready to come in. So, you know, of course they add a little storyline, you know, trying to show little bits and pieces of Culver being slack. They kind of did the same thing last season too, but we love Culver. We know he's a hard worker. And yeah, I think that is something that you can see is perception. It was easy for them to say, look at Culver down in the kitchen while the other guys are cleaning. We don't even know if those were filmed at the same time. Here's what's not perception. Here's what fact is. The fact is that in any circumstance, Margot had said, no, I don't want him in my room. And he proceeded to come into the room and try to shut the door and crawl into her bed when he was not wearing any clothes. She was unconscious. She was extremely drunk. Yeah, there's no reason for it. And even Laura was trying to hack this terrible excuse about, he's probably joking. Like, he just did that because he obviously felt comfortable to do that because you had welcomed his advances earlier in the evening. It doesn't matter. Laura, you suck. Laura is not a girl's girl. This is clear. We know that she left her home in Latvia when she was younger. So there's probably just some social immaturity there. Maybe some cultural impact there. We don't really get a lot of her upbringing because she's all about her being independent. But what we've seen from Laura is that she is obsessed with male attention and she will stop at nothing to get it. So the things she said about Luke were out of pure jealousy and insensitivity. And really, you can tell Laura's just one of those people who cannot read the room. And that's something that comes with years. Do I think that she's learned that in 2 years? No, I do not think she's learned that in 2 years since she filmed the show. So she can chalk it up to being immature at 29, and now she's this mature woman at 31. But I think we know Laura deserved to get cut. She was disrespectful to Jason at the end. Yeah, the way she spoke to Margot was uncalled for. Luke is traveling the world, living his crazy lifestyle, and other Below Deck alums have spoken out. All the fans have spoken out. Everyone's excited that Luke and Laura are gone. We know Joelle's coming in, and we've gotten a preview of the new stew that's going to catch Culver's eye coming in later in the season. I do think we need to go back and review the past between Joelle and Aesha and really break that down so you know what's coming next. But I had to jump on here and say, just wow. Way to go, Aesha. Way to go, Captain Jason. Way to go, production team. Bravo's in the heat right now with Bethany and other reality TV stars about how Bravo in particular and NBC Universal have handled reality TV, getting people drunk, taking advantage of people, crossing the line, working crazy hours, in reality TV. They're trying to unionize right now. We'll see what happens with that. That should be an interesting take. But in the end, you saw this. It just comes down to individuals doing the right thing, making the right calls. And in this scenario, I'm very happy to see how it ended. But I think we're going to see some residual issues that come up, whether it's Margot drinking while she's on charter or, just additional distrust happening among the crew, because this can really shake people in the what if, woulda, coulda, shoulda, how did I not see the signs, that kind of thing. And we'll just have to see how the season plays out. This was not a super happy episode, but thanks for tuning in. I had to share my perspective on it. And yeah, let me know what you think about these episodes in the comments below. Thanks.